Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, it's crazy because in my last video, I said that I would put this topic to rest. And then as soon as I put that video out, I see the vice president telling lies on national TV. I'm like, damn, we got to get back to it. Now, for whatever reason, the vice president of the United States, J.D. Vance, he decided to be the host of the Charlie Kirk show today, right? So apparently Charlie Kirk would do a show, I guess today, but he could not make it to a show today. So J.D. Vance filled in for him for today. And in that show, he was defending Charlie's legacy and also going at his critics. Now, one point of criticism against Charlie Kirk is some statements that he made while he was alive in regards to black women and their capacity, and basically said that when he would see a black woman in a certain position, he would question himself, did she earn that position based off her merit, based off her own skill and capability, or was she given it, by affirmative action or things like that, right? So anyway, get into the clip. I'll be right back.
The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words.
If we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Is if I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome.
All right, we back. Now, I don't know what would inspire the vice president, J.D. Vance, to just blatantly tell a lie like that. But like I said, I genuinely feel like politics in the United States is actually falling down to the level of a third world country. This is the type of political shenanigans you would see in a third world country. We just blatantly telling lies on TV. Everything is an opportunity to go on the assault against my political opposition. This is like third world country shenanigans going on right now, right? I'm seeing folks losing their job left and right because they're not bowing down to Charlie Kirk. Like, this is like, I don't know what's going on. I thought it was the land of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. I don't know what is going on. I guess, listen, it's third world country vibes, man. Now, all of a sudden, if you say the wrong thing against the regime, against the administration, or those connected to the administration, now you're going to lose your job. It's going to be consequences. It's going to be repercussions and retaliation. Man, listen, you can't open your mouth against the dictatorship. Like, this is crazy what's going on in the country. But anyways, that reminds me of a story I saw earlier today where we have one of the writers at the Washington Post. She was actually fired because apparently some things she said about Charlie Kirk was deemed offensive. Now, you saw what Charlie Kirk had said himself. I don't understand why, in my opinion, why are black women obligated to show this guy respect and show this guy love, and you got to bow down and kiss the ring, and if you don't pay homage to him, you're going to get fired or things like that? Obviously, the guy didn't have much respect for women like her, so why is she obligated to bow down and kiss the ring and pay homage? Now, a common defense you would hear from the fans of Charlie Kirk, they would say something like this. Take a look up on the screen. He was commenting on 3 specific black women who had been given jobs they were clearly not up to because of DEI. Another person said, it is not an accurate quote. It is pretending that what he said about particular women was generalized about black women as a group. So typically the Charlie Kirk fan club is going to say, well, no, he wasn't talking about black women as a whole in totality. He was speaking about specific black women, right? Now, of course, I reject that. And the reason I reject that is, when have conservatives ever spoke in individualities, in specifics, broke you down into different groups, No. They always speak in vague generalities. For example, if one black man commits a crime, now all black men are violent criminals. Now all black men are this and that. One negative connotation gets spread across the whole group. That's how conservatives communicate. That's how they operate. But in this specific situation, we're to believe that, oh no, we're only talking about, the specific person right now, right? But in any other scenario, the whole group gets collectively slandered, right? The whole group gets classified under negative connotations and stereotypes. But now you want me to believe that you were only talking about this handful of women who generally are the ambassadors of their group. So that goes even further. So if you hold a negative opinion of women who are, for example, Michelle Obama, the wife of the president, and high-ranking politicians, if you hold a negative view of women who hold these high positions, then how do you feel about the average woman walking down the street? That's another conversation. So, like I said, these guys are professional, con artists, bullshit artists. Now, all of a sudden, they're speaking to the individual. But in every other instance, they speak to the collective in vague generalities. They speak in stereotypes. They speak in these vague terms. But now we're supposed to believe that Charlie Kirk, he was talking about these handful of women specifically, right? But if we talk about a criminal, all of a sudden, it's all black men around the world. So like I said, man, I reject that argument. I reject that nonsense. He said what he said, and he has to stand on what he said, right? Regardless, we're not going to come back and rewrite the history. No, he has to stand on that. But anyways, back to what I said earlier about what I meant, how the United States is becoming a third world country in terms of how politics is conducted, right? In third world countries, everything is an opportunity to advance your political agenda. Everything is an opportunity to attack the political opposition. Everything is an opportunity to consolidate power. And that's what I see the conservatives doing. They're taking this Charlie Kirk story and they are using it as an opportunity to consolidate power, to assault the political opposition, and also to advance their political agenda. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if you got to go on TV and just tell lies, and we are seeing American politicians do business and conduct politics as if we're in a third world banana republic. Now, anyways, take a look up on the screen.
It looks like he became radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left. I have a lot of problems with the left.
My job as FBI director is not to speak to motive, is to speak to the facts. He subscribed to left-wing ideology, and even more so in these last couple of years.
It is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination.
All right, we back. Now, as you can see, democracy has left the building. Democracy is nowhere to be found. We are now officially living comfortably under the authoritarian regime of Donald Trump. Listen, ain't no democracy over here. Ain't no freedom over here. Listen, it's get down or lay down. Listen, that's what it is. And like I said, they are taking this story and they're going to weaponize it to advance whatever agenda they have and go on the attack against their political opposition. And that's what you would see in a third world country, right? Whatever little issue is going on, oh man, the rise in fuel prices, oh, the rise in the price for food, oh man, the inflation, everything is the fault of the opposition. It's the opposition. Everything is the fault of the opposition. Everything is the fault of the opposition. That is what you would see in a third world country, even if it doesn't make sense, right? Even if it doesn't make sense, right? A plane crashed today. Oh man, it's the opposition, right? Unemployment is rising. Oh, it's the opposition, right? Everything is the fault of the opposition, and everything is an opportunity to advance my political agenda. That's what you would see in a third world country. And that's what we are witnessing with the conservatives right now, taking this story and just taking it. And even if it doesn't make sense, they're just going to point the finger at the so-called the radical left, the far left, right? When, as we can see, man, listen, this don't got nothing to do with none of that, man. Listen, that was your own people. And that's just what it is, man. That was your own people. When you look at the suspect, when you look at his family, his background, the demographics of the state that he grew up in, everything points to him being most likely part of a faction on the far right, way more than the far left, right? And I saw Matt Walsh, Matt Walsh came out. Listen, all these guys are in denial. They know the suspect was a part of the far right. They know it, but they're going to come out and deny it and play stupid, right? Matt Walsh, I'm going to play a clip from Matt Walsh, playing stupid when he knows goddamn well Charlie Kirk got eliminated by his own people. Now, run the clip. I'll be right back.
Meanwhile, the LA Times apparently cited an expert who decided that Charlie Kirk was shot in a white supremacist gang hit. There are now increasing questions about the actual shooter's possible affinity with the extreme far right. This may have involved a beef between alt-right Nick Fuentes and the victim. Says, quote, so the killer of Charlie Kirk is Tyler Robinson, white boy, right-wing, Republican, wealthy family, born and raised in Utah. This is a bad week for MAGA. None of it is remotely true. There's no source for any of it because it's false. Just to be totally clear about this, any suggestion that Charlie was killed by a right-winger is a flat-out, bald-faced lie. There is no evidence of that, none at all. All of the evidence points to left-wing LGBT extremists. It's not close. It's not ambiguous. Gay guy, trans boyfriend.
All right, we back. Now, these guys are not men, right? These guys are not men. There's no integrity amongst these, conservative personalities. Everything is the fault of somebody else. It's never my fault. There's no self-reflection. There's no looking inward. It's always looking outward, pointing fingers somewhere, pointing fingers at some demographic or some ideology. But the finger always has to be pointed somewhere else, right? This grifter, Matt Walsh, said all of the evidence points to it being something from the far left. And the only evidence he can point out is because, oh man, he was in the LGBT community. That doesn't mean anything. There's a bunch of members of the LGBT community who are also conservative. There's a bunch of conservative LGBT community members, right? Oh, he was with the transgender. So what? It's a bunch of conservatives that be dealing with transgenders. That don't tell me nothing. Everything points to him being a conservative from his demographic, his location, his upbringing, his family. Listen, don't nothing about that guy scream liberal, right? That's from a conservative gun-loving family. His father's law enforcement is conservative, right? So if you ask me, the theory of him being more connected to Nick Fuentes makes way more sense than this, the left-wing ideology down in Utah. He spent one semester taking online classes and got brainwashed by the leftist ideology. Come on, man, that don't even make no sense. You guys are blatantly telling stories like third world politicians. But anyways, I'm going to play some clips from Nick Fuentes where you can actually see how the suspect might have been radicalized online listening to certain rhetoric, and this makes more sense than the so-called theory about the leftist ideology. Play the clip, I'll be right back.
I think a lot of people are starting to find out Charlie Kirk is not the patriot that he says he is. And so, Charlie Kirk in the grand scheme of things is just some retarded idiot. The contrast could not be more clear. Charlie Kirk is a totally unexceptional human being. Is he really a Christian? Is he really Christ-like when he supports foreign wars and Israel and all this? Look at the people he's taking money from. So the guy's a fake Christian. The guy's not a patriot. He hates our country. He's un-American. Let's focus all our firepower on Charlie Kirk. Why are we doing this? It's because Charlie Kirk is a fake patriot, a fake Christian, and he hates his people. He's anti-white. This is our angle. We talk about Charlie Kirk's dual allegiance to Israel, the globalism, the fake conservatism of Charlie Kirk. People see that Charlie Kirk is not a real conservative. He is not a real nationalist. He is not a real Christian. And that is simply the truth. Charlie Kirk is not an honest broker, not a conservative. He exists, and Turning Point USA exists, to control the conversation. We acknowledge that Charlie Kirk is not conservative. He's destroying the country, and we can all agree that we have to put a stop to that, right? Charlie Kirk is a retard and a coward, so we've got him checked on both fronts. I have an army. They hate that I have a Revolutionary Guard. They hate that I raise my fist and the Groypers go into action. It eats them up. Because they got money and they got shows and they got stuff, but I got shooters.
All right, we back. Now, clearly, listen, we don't got to spend too much time entertaining this alleged theory about the so-called leftist ideology. We can clearly see what happened here, right? Charlie Kirk got eliminated by his own people. And even if it was a leftist, it's still your own people. Because like I said, we don't do that breaking down into factions, break it down into groups, right? If a black man kills another black man, we don't take into account his political affiliation, religious orientation, or try to find out if he's a member of a certain political party. We don't care about none of that. It would simply be deemed as black on black crime, and then that's it. We close the chapter. So we're not going to sit here and try to decipher on which side of the political spectrum that he was under and things like that so you can weaponize it for your political agenda. Get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that. You simply have to accept the fact that Charlie Kirk was taken out by his own people. It happens every single day. People get taken out by their own people every single day. So stop it, man. Stop this whole charade. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it, man. But anyways, it's your boy Neferkari the Salim back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Second single off the next project, The Spy and Bamako, pin comment at the top. Check it out. Link in the description. Subscribe to the Patreon, NTD 1814. And I'm gone. Peace. Feel like it's see me, I feel like I'm Saudi or ran up on Yana in the middle of Bamako. Enemy line, they claiming he innocent. Don't do no talking, I gotta move militant. Don't do no talking, I hit him with facts. 1804, bringing it back. 1804 like I'm Mother Cap Henry. King with the vision, the crown never empty. Top of the mountain, my soldiers defend me. Ducking and dodging the foreign intelligence. Hitting my dance on the DGSE. Dodging they traps, still on my feet. Feeling impeccable, feel like I'm shining. Go to my neck and I'm flooded with diamonds. Go to my neck and I feel like a mess. Feel like a lion, I'm in the savannah. Feel like the king when I'm up in the jungle. Never defeated, I never been humble. Come out victorious every encounter. Money machine give me help when I count it. Money machine stack it up in a beat. Heart of a king and I ride for the team. Weight of the world got it stuck on my shoulders. Bet you can feel it, my heart getting colder. Yeah, gotta stay focused so when it's in shots, I gotta react. Cause I'm a target, I'm under attack. Grabbing a weapon, I tell her get back. Mission exposed, secrets unfold. Enemy try, but I'm still in control. Got your boy sitting in Bamako prison. Hoping they wish we sending them home. Enemy know that we good under pressure. Been through the thunderous, turbulent storm. Shorty a diamond, I told her she pressure. Hop in a whip and I'm taking her home. Hop in a whip and I'm swerving, I'm smashed. Killing my enemies, one of my passion. Rocking this gold like we in bikini. Feel like the captain, I'm clutching a heater. Yeah, gotta stay focused so when it's in shots, I gotta react. Cause I'm a target, I'm under attack. Grabbing a weapon, I tell her get back. Mission exposed, secrets unfold. Enemy try, but I'm still in control. Got your boy sitting in Bamako prison. Hoping they wish we sending them home. Enemy know that we good under pressure. Been through the thunderous, turbulent storm. Shorty a diamond, I told her she pressure. Hop in a whip and I'm taking her home. Hop in a whip and I'm swerving, I'm smashed. Killing my enemies, one of my passion. Rocking this gold like we in bikini. Feel like the captain, I'm clutching a heater.